My name is Jan van Zwieten. I'm the rector of the Netherlands Biznес-Academie, and today we are doing a class about mediation. So just a short recap, what is personality?
It's the personal characteristics of the people.
Exactly. So personality is your identity, your self. This is about character, and this is about behavior, and your intelligence, skills, and competences. Which one of the three is the most important? Also in mediations. The character, definitely. Why?
Because others depend.
Well, the article you mentioned means they can't exist with, a person can't really exist without any.
So depending on the character, behavior will appear in another way.
So behavior is a choice. We already discussed that. We can change the behavior quite easily, but we cannot change the character. And the character will decide what are your real needs, what is really important to you. So in a mediation, we will have to find out most about the character of the person. And that's not easy, because there's also a difference between the talent and the motivation. What's the difference? Both parts of character. Let me give you a simple example. I come from tennis. We had a French tennis player, Yannick Noah. You probably never heard about him because you're way too young for him. But he was coming from Africa. 2 meters tall, African guy. And when you're 2 meters tall, you can hit the ball with more than 200 kilometers per hour. Crazy, incredible. And besides that, he had the best touch ever. He could do magic with the ball. There was only one slight problem. He didn't like tennis at all. So why did the guy play tennis? Because it made him famous. He made lots of money with it. And because he even won the French championship, he was a star in France. But what was his real motivation? What was his hobby? What did he love? Music. He loved the guitar. So why did the guy play tennis? Because one little problem. He was terrible with the guitar. He was terrible in music. But because he was so famous, everybody wanted to listen to him. Everybody wanted to play with him. And in this way, he even got to the #1 position on the charts. So there can be a difference between your talent and your motivation. Yeah, you can think for yourself, what are my talents? What am I really good at? And what do I really like? Very often it's the same, because you like to do what you're good at. It gives you applause and you do it quite easily, but sometimes there's a difference. Yeah? My biggest hobby is drawing. But you already could see yesterday, my drawing is terrible. Yeah? Okay. And the character develops, the brain develops. Behavior is a choice. The character is what is most important for us. If we look at it from the perspective of the 4 axes, what is behavior? What X is behavior? EQ, very good. And the other X, character? IQ is intelligence. The sense, the why. What is really important to me? Okay. So, why do we do personality analysis in mediation? Why is it so important? Tell me. Yes, go on. Think back to this triangle. Think about the phases in the mediation. What is the only thing we have as a mediator? Structure, communication. And this is all about behavior. So I need to know the behavior to structure my process. And I need to know the character to go to level 4 or 5, to the interests of the people, to what is important, how do we get to a solution. That's level 4, 5 and further. But first we start with behavior. How do we communicate with people? How to structure the order or the pressure. Welcome. I already missed my timekeeper. So there are a lot of ways to find out about behavior, but we will go about a very simple tool on behavior. Did you do any tools on behavior? You know DISC? No? Not? Okay, then let's go for it. Behavior has a lot of variables, and one of them is whether you're active or whether you're thoughtful. I would invite you to stand up. And if you think for yourself that you are quite an active person, meaning that in all situations you normally act immediately, you are active, then you go to that part of the room. If you're more thoughtful, just see and first think about it, then you go to this side of the hall. Please. Make your choice. Are you more active? That side, to the window. Are you more thoughtful? This side. That's possible, yes. Okay, thank you very much. And now, if you are more people-oriented, you go that way. If you are more task-oriented, you go that way. So if something happens, are you more going to the people, discussing, communicating with them, or are you more thinking about what do we have to do? Process, structure, content. So content, task on this side, people on that side. Stay on your side. Okay. So these are all active people, task-oriented, yes? Okay. Task-oriented, thoughtful. Thoughtful or all thoughtful? Nobody in that corner? Nobody active and you're active, not all thoughtful? Okay. Well, if you look at the screen, you will see that we have 4 quadrants. Then the quadrant you are in now is your most dominant quadrant. So either you are dominant, then you're active and task-oriented. This group. You're basically dominant. Remember, okay? If you're more people-minded and active, but nobody seems to be there today, then you're more on influence. If you're more thoughtful, person-oriented, you are with stability. And we have the people who are more conscious. So this group is conscious, this group is stability. Yes? Okay, please sit down. Or keep standing up, own choice. Okay, you do understand that we have very sophisticated tests for this, assessments for this. But if you do a mediation or coaching, you only have 10-15 minutes to decide. So this is why you make it quite rough. Okay? What does it mean? What does dominancy mean? What do you think? What is dominancy? Dominant people. You say leaders. All people can be leaders. All 4 quadrants. But the way they do it is different. You said?
The people that hold the situation under control.
Dominant people have only one concern. There's only one thing really important for them. Results. They go for results. So, they are goal result oriented. They are competitive. They want to win. Who was dominant here? Who was dominant? Who was in the corner of dominant? A lot of people, but where are they? Task oriented, you were dominant? Okay. What will be the best way? What's your name? Nudia? Julia. Okay. What's the best way to get Julia really going on? Really active? To set a goal for her? But even more, you cannot do this. Then she will prove me wrong. She will prove that she can do it. Yeah? And if Tanya comes in and I say, okay, Tanya is much better than you. Oh, that's to be seen, yes? And the dominant person will fight for it, go for it. They do not mind taking some risks for it. So she will prove her right, and in that way, to win, you have to take risks. And she's sure about herself. She knows that she's the best. She doesn't know that I'm even better, but okay, that's bad luck for you. But so if you do an exercise, an outside exercise, and they have to do some parkour, which is quite difficult physically, what's the first thing the dominant people will ask me? So let's say you have to climb over all these desks and back and whatever. What will the dominant people ask me? They want results, not necessarily money. Money is just a proof of the result. The first thing the group will ask me is, what is the best time yet? Okay, I say half an hour. What will they say? They will say, come on, what kind of pussies do you have here? Half an hour for such... We will do it in 10 minutes. No problem at all. But, okay, we want to win. We want to be sure that we win. So we say 29 minutes and 30 seconds. Yeah? Then we are sure to win. Okay. They slightly underestimate it, so half an hour later, they're not even past the first part of it. What will they say? They will say, yeah, well, it's not a real situation, is it? It's not important. Yeah? It's just play. They won't take it serious. Why? Because they don't want to lose. They don't want to admit that they failed the result. Yeah? Next day they come back, they have to do the same thing again. And I ask, what is your target? What will be the target at that moment? What will be the next target the next day? They know that it is quite difficult. They know that it is not going that fast. So they will say, okay, our target is that we will cooperate very well together today. That we will have fun today. Hey, these are results you can always achieve. Yeah, so to them only one thing is important, results and winning. What about influence? Influence believes in people. Influence believes that everything can be achieved by the good relations. They have a lot of contacts. Each time if you ask them, hey, we have to do this, the first thing they will say, oh, I know someone. I have a friend. They have thousands of friends. Not really good friends, but they have thousands of friends. Yeah? So they know a lot of people. They are always active, positive. And they don't want to fight. They always have good relationships to everyone. No conflicts. So what about content? What about results? What do you think? What will happen if I say, you have to do this within half an hour? What will happen if they don't make it? Then the fun is over. Then it's not nice anymore. So, I will never ask a performance indicator to an influenced person. They don't want the conflict. They want good harmony. Stability, downside. There were many stability persons here. The basics of stability is no change. No change. What is the best way to achieve no change? Yeah, very good. So, for a stability person, he wants or she wants to know exactly what's coming. They want to know exactly what are the steps we are going to take. How are we going to move forward? What's going to happen? Yeah? We had a stability person, a mother, and the persons she loves most are her mother and her daughter. Well, they were working in the garden, but she had to go for a moment, and her mother and her daughter thought, we will help her. And they planted some plants. She came back. What was her reaction, do you think? What do you think, Lisa? Yes? She exploded. She was furious. And why? It was not her plan. They were standing in different ways, and it was not as she was thinking it should be happening. Of course, she was very sorry immediately afterwards. But at that moment, in her brain, explosion. So stability wants to know what's coming up. And if you work with people as a team, you get no surprises. Stability people do not like surprises. So they go for the teamwork, they go for together, for collaboration. Then we do not get much big changes. They are not against changes, but slow and clear and planned. And then we have conscious. Conscience means quality. Everything must be good. So they also want to know exactly what's coming, how is it going, what is planned, but for a different reason. It must be good. Okay? This is what we have to know before we start the mediation. Within 10-15 minutes, I must know from Alex and from Diana exactly where are they in this. And why? Because they have their allergies, they have their conflict. When will I get in conflict with a person who's dominant? If I go too emotional, too slow, keep on asking, then the dominant person is, come on, forward, we need a solution. Come on, do it. To the influence person, if I make it too tight, too strict, not person-related, he will not like it. He doesn't want the conflict, he doesn't want to fight. Stability. If I just steamroll over the person, if I just go, pow, pow, pow. Oh, stop, 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 stop. Not too fast. And quality, almost the same. So quality doesn't like influence people. Quality wants quality, that means details, accurate, exact. Influence doesn't care about details, exact. And stability wants slow pace, they want to know exactly what's coming. And dominant people go over it. So dominant and stability are opposites. How can I motivate them? Other way around. A bit clear, just for a very short, brief thing. We normally have 3-day courses on this, but just to have some notion about what is that part of personality, what is your behavior. Clear? Okay. And that is important for the structure of your mediation. Who will give me the solution in the end? Where do I find my solution? What kind of people will give me the solution? Let's first go when the pressure is rising. We are discussing and there's more stress. What will a dominant person do when there's stress? They will say they are right. They will go for the power. They will go, hey, come on, we have to do it this way. I decide. This is what is going to happen. Dominating, demanding. What will influence people say? They will not say, this is how it's going to happen, because they want to be friends. But they will try to verbally convince you. They will give you a lot of words, a lot of arguments. Hey, it must be done because this, because that. You must see it. Come on, let's do it. That's influence. What about stability? Pressure is moving up. And stability doesn't want change. Doesn't want to rock the boat. So they will say, okay, I understand something must happen, but okay, give it to me, I will look into it this night, this evening, I will go for it, I will do extra, as long as you do not go too fast. He will comply, he will go for the harmony. And conscious, he will try to find time, to gain time. He says, okay, but let me first do this check, let me first do this evaluation, let me first do this assessment. We need certainty. We need to know more details. This is what will happen under pressure. So in the beginning of the mediation, this is how people will react. The dominant person will try to go to the solution as fast as possible. The influenced person will keep on talking, verbally strong. The stability person will sit back, will say nothing, or will try to say, okay, I understand, and of course I understand the other person, no problem, but I will do it. And the conscious person also say, okay, I think we have to know all the facts, we have to find out. They want to divorce, we need to know exactly what's the income, we need to know exactly on how old are the children, what do I do, what time are they with me, what time are they with you. They want to know all the facts. But in the end, when the pressure is too high, and it really seems that now the solution is forced, then what happens? What happens to the dominant person who knows, I will not get the result I wanted? I wanted to win, but I cannot win anymore. He will try to find the elegant way out. He will try, he will give in, he will go back, but of course it's not his mistake. Yeah? Okay, we didn't make it, but it was not real, it was not extra, or I had some weak teammates, okay, not my fault. Or let's say that Alex is dominant, he will say, okay, but I'm a gentleman, so of course she can have this, she can have that. He will give in. The influenced person also doesn't want the conflict, so he or she will also give in. And then something surprising, stability. They don't want change. And now it's almost inevitable that there will be change. So then they start defending. It's the lion who is defending her whelps. No change. And in the conscious, they will also say, okay, if you want to do this, then okay. But I want this, 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 this. So you see their turns. Dominant and influence will give in, and the other two will stop. So in the end, who will bring me the solution in the mediation? Where will I get the result of the mediation? Where will I find the solution? With the dominant and influent people. They will give in. They will comply. Hmm? So I do not put pressure on it, but in the mediation we start talking. Yeah? And in the beginning, let's say you are stability and Alex is dominant. In the beginning, Alex is pushing. We have to do it this way, we have to do it that way, we have to go there. And you will say, okay, yeah, but that might be a problem, and not too fast, and I see some, all these bears on the road, terrible. Yeah? Not a good solution, but let's talk, let's talk, let's talk. And then in the end, we have to come to a solution. But it is not the solution you want. And then you will fight. And then Alex sees, I cannot have it my way. And Alex will say, okay, okay, Diana, as always, you will win. And he will give in. Yeah? So it's not that I put, as a mediator, pressure, but the situation makes the pressure. Okay? So, in the frame, I need to know the behavior, to structure the process, to know who do I address in the beginning, who do I address in the end. So my story is that my daughter started at the university, but she wasn't happy with what she studied. So She wanted to change, and in the end, whew, it happened. Yeah, and now she is in another direction, so now she's happy. So that's the short story, but you only get the sentence, my daughter is happy. So if he would ask me, why is she happy? I would answer, well, she just started a new study. So build it up, don't give it away immediately. Try to let him find out by asking. Make it difficult for him. Yeah? Okay, so make up a story, both of you, and then you go 1 minute to one, and then you switch. No, you make up a story about yourself. For yourself, you make also up a story for yourself. So the two storylines. No, you don't have a quarrel. The two storylines are completely separated. Like a wall. It has nothing to do with each other. This is not yet a mediation. That's too complicated. Yeah? We just try to exercise going from one to the other. So he might discuss the place where he's living. He might discuss about his girlfriend. Fine, doesn't matter. Yeah? You go 1 minute, you go 1 minute. The timer keeps track of the time, but doesn't tell him if he exceeds. So the moment he switches, you say, okay, you used 2 minutes, or you used only 30 seconds. Yeah? Okay, try to find out a short story for yourself. And give us one line.
Okay, I came to you because I have a problem. I really quarrel with my girlfriend.
Stop. More than enough. Stop. Good. Fine. Thank you. Okay. Now you go 1 minute to the one, 1 minute to the other. Stop, don't tell too much, keep it simple, short, he has to ask more. Okay, please stop for a moment. You see he is quite talkative, he's giving away a lot. You can do it slower, short answers. If people ask closed questions, you give a closed answer. If they say, so this is this, you only say yes. Don't say anything extra, just keep it simple. Closed questions get closed answers. Yeah? Exercise clear? Okay, make groups of 4. And please try. Try to find a 4th person. Okay. Go! Try to sit more in a circle. You sit fine, okay, keep on here. Keep sitting here, doesn't matter. Whatever. So, how was this experience? Yeah? What was difficult about it?
Asking questions.
Asking questions.
Asking the right questions.
So what mistakes are made in asking questions?
Wrong questions.
What?
Wrong questions.
Wrong questions. What kind of wrong questions?
When like you assume something and you want a person to do it some solving problem, but you could
No solutions, never. No advice. Okay.
Just giving an advice.
If you're sitting here in the hall together, yeah, you sit there as friends. Is it difficult to talk to each other? Is it difficult to ask questions? Then why all of a sudden it is difficult in this situation?
Because it's official.
And this is exactly what you have to let go. We are lazy, stupid, homeless, and uncivilized. We are just having a conversation. Okay, Alex, tell me, how is it for you? Yeah? Why should I give him advice? He will know best what to do in the end. The moment I will give advice and he doesn't agree, I lost him. And he will not listen to me anymore. So don't give advice, don't give solutions. What else? What else? What is not allowed? I think you made one remark which was not the best.
I started giving an advice.
Yes, but also she said to him, why did you do this? What is it? If I say to him, hey, why did you do this? What is it?
You're interrupting the desire of personal life.
It's aggressive, it's an attack.
You might think
What will be his reaction? Either aggressive, if he's dominant or influence, or if he is stability or conscious, he will defend himself. Yeah? So don't ask why question. Then of course it's a tone of voice. If you say, okay, hey, why did you do this? That's less aggressive than why. Yeah? So be careful in the why questions. And make it open. So if you say, is it this? Yes. Okay. So you did this? Yes. Okay, you do not get much information. We are lazy. We want them to talk, not ourselves.
you told previously that in order to shorten the time, like we have only 1 minute per person, right? So you're told that we should ask the closest questions, not to extend the time. So the
Well-
person doesn't talk much. And what's the healthy middle?
Well, first I found out, is a person very talkative? So we were sitting here and he was starting to talk. You give him 10 cents and he will talk for 5 euros, no problem. So I have to stop him. How do I do this? I give him closed questions, that's easier. But he is not giving me anything. So I give him open questions and I let him talk. And now he keeps on talking and I see my 1 minute is almost over. So what do I do?
Stop.
But I want to do it in a respectful way. I will say, okay, sorry, I'm a bit old, so my memory is not that good. So let me try to repeat what you just said. That's a way to stop him. Then I make my summary. Is this what you said? Yes? Okay, thank you. Then now I go to, and then you can switch. So play with it. Okay? So what's another big mistake which is made? If we look at the inventory phase, what do we have to know? We have to know the elephants under the table. You don't know them? No? Never saw an elephant under the table? Oh, well. There are elephants under every table. What do we mean by the elephants under the table? Actually, it was made very famous by one Harvard professor. They have this last lecture, as they call it. So every Harvard professor can give one lecture, and there he will tell what he would tell if this was his last lecture. So what is most special to you? Okay, this man steps up, and he says, those are the pictures of my brain. And those were pictures with cancer all over. So he was going to die. It was his last lecture. And he said, okay, everybody of you already knows. So, of course, I hate it. It's terrible. But I can decide not to talk about it. And then it keeps on hanging here everywhere. Everybody knows whatever I say is not important because the problem is all over there. So I better can say it. Then we are clean with it, we are clear with it. The problem is on the table, so we put the elephant on the table. We put the problem on the table. And then it's clear to everyone. And we can discuss it, we can talk about it. So never keep the elephants under the table. Very often we don't want to talk about problems. So, where's my... So there are some very famous concepts in management, and one is conflict intolerance, and the other is conflict avoidance. We don't want conflicts. And as a manager or whatever, we pretend that there are no conflicts. And the moment they start fighting, I will say, okay, stop fighting, there's no conflict. But there is a conflict. And not talking about it will not solve it. Yeah? So we will find the conflict continuum. Meaning, conflict is healthy. Why is a conflict important?
Because if there is no conflict, there is no solution.
A conflict can bring us one step further. So for example, if you have a management team and some people do not agree with what is decided and they step out, will they really go for it? No, probably the other way around. So we need the conflicts. We have two opposites. One is we pretend that there is no conflict, and the other is we go to the bottom of it. We really kill the other person. You are the most terrible person on earth. Yeah? Look at how you sit. Come on. How can you do this? Do you not have respect for me? You're a respectless person. Hey, come on. This is personal on the other side. So where's the perfect point? Where's the conflict constructive? Where's the conflict destructive? We try to find the point as much to the right as possible till the moment it gets personal. And sometimes you just step over, okay, then you have to go back. It is not allowed to be personal attack. But on the facts we can fight. Yeah? So if we look at the frame in the inventory, we look at the facts, but more important about emotions. How much questions were asked about the emotions? How often did you say, okay, what did you feel about it? What does it do to you? Why are you sitting there so negative? So about 60–70% of the questions are about emotions, not about the facts. Maybe in the beginning a little bit more about facts. So if we look at it, we have emotions and facts. In the beginning, people are full of emotions. They're still in the fight. We ask lots of questions about emotions. But you can never find a solution when we are still in the emotion. So we have to shift to the left. If we go more to the emotions, we escalate. If we go more to the facts, we de-escalate. And it gets even more difficult if things like principles, beliefs, whatever are involved. Okay. Well, it's almost 12:30. Thank you, timekeeper, for reminding me. So we have to finish. What is your first reaction about mediation? We didn't get very far already, but okay, it's just this first start, first getting to know it. What do you think about it? Yeah, Alex?
My prejudice, my prejudice, because I thought that it was something that I knew of. I thought that it was just something about, obvious thing, that it was about settling the communication between two people and you are between them. That was basically it. As you went on and on explaining this, I actually found myself, somewhere in the middle of the lecture, I found myself really enjoying it.
Okay.
And I mean, that's what I want to talk about, talking just about my emotions, not facts.
Very good.
There is no fact to you. You've covered everything, I believe.
Any other reactions? What we can see is that it is really difficult to do good mediations. People think that they do conflict management. People think that they do mediations. And the most difficult part of the mediations we didn't even get to. But one of my best friends, he's a lawyer. He's a professor in law. And he did the mediation course. And I told him, the moment you do a live mediation, we are no longer friends. Because he's the worst mediator in the world. He knows everything from theory. But sitting there and doing it, that's quite a different thing. Yeah? Everything you heard, okay, yeah, clear, yeah, okay. And then doing it, that's the difference. You're from communication. This is your job. Do it. Communicate. Learn how to communicate. Mediation is just one form, but all the skills of mediators can be used in communication. So this is why I hope, although I do not know anything about communication, it is something which might be helpful for your career. Thank you very much and enjoy your study.
Thank you.
Thank you.